Hi folks, this video will be about the death of Charlie Kirk. He was shot while talking to students at a university, which he did often. So, I've watched some of his clips, I've seen some of the things he's said and some of the conversations he's had with left-wing people. One thing I can tell you that is part of the reason why he was targeted is because those on the right have used these clips as a way of trying to ridicule those on the left and just simply label those on the left as evil. Both sides, the left and the right, in America are calling the other side evil. They have for a long time. I said we just had an election recently where they voted in Trump because he wasn't as bad as Kamala Harris. Not because he was the person who people believed would be best for the country, but he would be not as bad as the other one. Right? You had two evils, basically. Because when you have both sides calling each other evil, then you've got two evils, haven't you? People chose the lesser evil. But when you've got two evils, obviously, what are you going to do? When you've got someone who you believe is evil, is shooting that person going to be something that you consider to be, too much? No, because the person is evil. If the person is evil, come on. How many times has that discussion been? If you had a chance to go back and kill Hitler, right? If you see the left as evil, if you see the right as evil, this is your chance to kill the up-to-date Hitler. Even though, of course, Charlie Kirk wasn't Hitler. No one on the left is Hitler. Hitler was Hitler. The point of it is, it's not about Hitler, it's about evil. People consider Hitler to be evil. People consider, would it be right to kill Hitler even as a baby, if you could go back in time and kill him as a baby? Because he was evil. Therefore, the baby Hitler was evil. Right? No, Hitler wasn't evil. He was just twisted. He had a highly twisted understanding based upon him being involved in the First World War and how Germany was treated after that. Right? Not evil. Neither was Charlie Kirk and neither are any of the people on the right or left. Trump isn't evil. Trump is a liar. He is deluded. He is exactly the hero of the world. Because, he is I've said before, if you want to consider who would be the forerunner for the Antichrist, well, you've got to look at Trump. You have to look at Trump for that because he has that nature, doesn't he? He's a womanizer, he's a liar, he's a con artist. Perfect. Exactly what will be the nature. And, he wants people to bow down to him. Exactly what will be the nature of the Antichrist. But it doesn't make him evil. Trump is a human being who, through having a father who was incredibly rich and treated people like crap, and who was basically, his father would have been someone that people bowed down to. Trump wanted to be a bit more bowed down to than his father. Simple, really. It's not much more complicated than that. He's not evil. But as I say, when you can throw around the tag of evil so lightly, the devil is loving this. Loving it. Didn't he want people eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Well, pointing out evil, that they're evil, they're evil, they're evil, they're evil, they're evil. That's from that tree. That's the fruit. And we've just seen the murder of somebody who was a father and a husband. And so therefore, and a son, and maybe a brother as well. The problem is, in a world where the left is insane, not evil, just insane in some ways, where basically they've been allowed to go way too far, and now people on the right are standing up to them and trying to push back. The problem is, when you try and push back, yeah. So, yeah. Right now, what people need to do is to understand that you can't simply blame the left for this. No. Because the reality is, yeah, we are where we are. Yeah, the right is just as bad, and people that put the clips of Charlie Kirk up, yeah, they try to sensationalize every single clip and use it as propaganda, as a tool against the left. So, yeah. If his material has been used in a war against the left, what happens in a war? People get shot. Seriously, I mean, Charlie Kirk had no wisdom, because if he had wisdom, if he'd been guided by God at that point in time, then he'd have known that maybe right now, don't go out. Let's maybe stop people using my clips for propaganda in a war against the left, because, you know, did he want to be seen as someone, as like a general in a war against the left? Probably not. And yet there he is, or there he was, going again to speak on another campus to most likely left-wing people, because again, why would you go to a campus to speak to people who believe in everything and know everything you're going to say anyway, and believe in that? No point doing that. You go and speak to people that don't know. You go and speak to people that believe different. Well, if you're a high-level soldier for the evil on the other side, the shooter thought he was doing the right thing. Right? Taking out an evil. Yeah. As I say, none of them are evil. They're just people trying to understand how to walk their path. And many of them getting it completely wrong. But we've all been there. So, wise heads need to be the ones that are heard right now. Let's drop all this evil stuff. It is not helping. Not in the long run. It is not. We certainly don't want retaliation. We don't want shooters shooting people on the left, do we? That's not really going to help. So there you go. You take care. God bless. And yeah. Let's hope this insanity from America doesn't spread to the rest of the world. If it hasn't spread already, that is. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.